Hey there. Happy Wednesday. Glad to see y'all are back. Honestly, I expect to be talking to myself in these lives probably for the next, let's say 5 episodes, okay? Through the rest of the month. If by July I'm still talking to myself, then we got a problem. But I'm glad to have whoever watches the replay here. Thanks for joining. I'm Melanie Nnogo, and I've been building tech since I basically came out the womb. From customizing my Black Planet page because you know it had to be fire, to launching software, enterprise software for Fortune 5 company. I've essentially done it all in the tech space, and now I'm building for myself and helping others build along the way. So this is the 5 credit startup where I'm building real companies in public using ChatGPT, Lovable, other platforms and software as well, and a product manager's mindset. So kind of meshing the two worlds. Let's get into it. So, first thing I wanted to do was to kind of recap a little bit or provide a little bit of extra context as to why I'm even doing any of this. First and foremost, I have this like vision on my heart to build this empire. And it's going to be structured where there's like an umbrella company, and then I have multiple portfolio companies underneath it. And they all have a similar theme. I've always had a heart for the African diaspora. So that means Black folks abroad, and that means Africans on the continent, and using technology to build the gap. I've always believed that there are resources on the continent and opportunities abroad. And when we're able to bring those two together in an efficient way, things can happen, right? The things can really move forward at an efficient rate for the culture. So that's my idea. Let's see where that ends up in 10 years. But if we get to the core and the heart of all of it, like what is the big why? Entrepreneurship to me is a form of generational wealth. It's not even an opinion, that is fact. It is one of the multiple forms of generational wealth. Now, there are many ways to get there, right? You have to figure out what is most aligned with your spirit. Some people do it the investing route, right? Some people are day traders and they're obsessed with the market, and that's their way of building generational wealth for themselves, and then teaching others how to build generational wealth. I think that's something that everyone should get into and do at some level, whether you're a passive trader or whether you're an extremely active trader. I think that's something that everyone should do. There's real estate. That's not necessarily in everybody's spirit. I don't know if it's potentially in my spirit. We'll see if and when the funds come. But real estate is another one to be able to do that. Buy multiple properties, hire property managers, go through that whole rigmarole. It's a great route. It just may not be everybody's cup of tea. And so there's multiple ways. The point is, there's multiple ways to get to a point where you are financially stable and then creating a path to financial stability for your children and your children's children, et cetera, et cetera. And so that is what the big why is for me and why I'm doing all these crazy things when I'm supposed to be dropping off a baby next month. It's really I've had so many thoughts, so many ideas, so many disconnected things that AI truly has now made feasible to be able to bring together in a way that is economical and time efficient. And so I said, okay, let me see how much of this I can get done between now and when I drop off this baby. Obviously, take a little time to recoup and get into the motherhood thing, but I'm coming right back to it because this child and any other future children that we have will reap the benefits of this work. So, what I want for this channel is to inspire people to do more with less. The I've worked with founders, specifically Black founders, a lot of Black female founders, since 2018. I believe is when I first got my first community up and going. And there's a lot of psychological breakthroughs that I've had to work with clients on in order to truly meet their potential or exceed their potential. A lot of it comes from this idea of lack of resources or a scarcity mindset. And the first thing that I try and do, especially now, especially today, especially in 2026, is let people know that there are so many things out there that they may just not be knowledgeable about to be able to get their ideas off the ground. A lot of folks, the first thing that they think is, oh, I need money to be able to get started. Oh, I need a lot of money to be able to get started. Oh, I need a lot of money, people, resources, etc. That's not necessarily true. And I'm here to let you guys know how you can skip some of those steps in order to get where you're trying to go. So, specifically, let's dig into building tech products and building software. One of the biggest things that I see with founders is they start with the product, right? They have they have an idea of what the logos will look like, what all the features will look like, how many landing pages they need. They want to build a mobile app and they want AI integrations and all of the things. And my first job is usually to break their heart and let them know that this is well and good, but that's mostly like a 10-year vision. Let's start with today, right? Let's start with the very basics, the minimum of what you need in order to get to market and start testing things out and start getting feedback. And it's amazing to me just how many founders have zero interest in actually talking to their potential users or getting out into the market and getting feedback on what they're doing. I understand it to some degree. Some of it is how did that line go? I'm sensitive about my art. Um, and so when you have something that's close to your chest and kind of like your baby, and you don't necessarily want to open it up to scrutiny and feedback and criticism, it's a very vulnerable place to be. But it's necessary. It's necessary in order to be able to know that you're building the right thing. And it's necessary to know that you are building something that people will actually want to use and see. And so after about 15 years as a product manager, with this product management mindset that I have, the product actually needs to be last. It's the last thing that you need to think about. There are so many things that you need to do first. And like I mentioned, it's understanding. And you get understanding through discussions, through research. So you want to understand the problem. You want to understand the user or users. You want to understand what success actually looks like for those users. Why are they actually using your platform? What is it that they're hoping to get from using your platform? And what is your competition if they are not using your platform or whatever you're building? A lot of the times, it's the status quo. They are just not interested in learning a new thing, adding a new process, whatever that might be. You have to understand that in order to get past the initial hump of, can I get people to actually use this thing that I've just spent however much time, however much money building? So today I want to show you the exact process that I use before I ever hop into Lovable, which is the tool I happen to use. Now, mind you, first and foremost, this channel is not sponsored by Lovable, even though if you're interested, hit me up. I will never say no. It is just the tool that I happen to use. There are others. Claude Code, I believe, is another one. Base 44, I believe, is another. There's plenty of these chat to code to app type of platforms. Lovable just happens to be the one that I use. Feel free to use whatever is most comfortable for you. However, I do have a referral code down in the comments or the description of these videos.